All right, hey guys, what's going on? My name is Chris Hawkes. This is your best life defined. How you doing today? I'm doing really well today. I woke up this morning energized. It's been I've been in an uphill battle. I mean, uphill glide right now. I'm actually gaining momentum on what I'm doing every day. I'm waiting for the crash. There's always a crash. But right now I'm feeling like I'm unstoppable. Like I can do anything, right? I can just keep grinding it out, getting these things done, going in, showing up every day, get that book done, get on with my life, get this adventure going, right? That's kind of the problem that I'm facing here is I might have let you down a little bit because I never even give it a thought because I get so up in my business about what's going on in my life and maybe this whole message thing. But I never really stopped to think about it. I was out there walking and looking around and I different indicators tell me that maybe people are struggling. And then it dawned on me. Maybe you can't. Maybe the idea of living a better life or finding the resources or the energy to just pick yourself up and do something better is beyond you. Maybe it's just something you can't do. I don't really understand that kind of thinking. That's I guess that's the problem, and maybe that's where the disconnect comes in. Because the way I see it, it doesn't matter where you are right now. There is a choice. The other side of this is maybe you don't want to. See, because I'm going to rule out, let's go ahead and back to the I can't. Let's rule the I can't out. You're sitting there right now and you're listening to this podcast and you're thinking, oh, wow, this guy sucks. I'm not doing anything. My life's perfect, right? Let me ask you the question. It doesn't matter what you feel about your life or how you view your life. Is there one thing that you could do to add value to your life, to improve something about your life? If you say no, that you're a liar. There's always something you can do. I'm sorry, I'm going to say that straight out. You're lying to yourself. If you're living that relationship, your relationship is like most people's relationship at that point where you are, right? I bet there's a ton of things you can do to make your partner go, what the hell's going on with you? What's wrong with you? What do you want? Right? But maybe you've just given up. That's a possibility. I see that a lot. People, every time when I first started this quest, I got to tell you, when I first started this quest, I thought it was all about doing what made you happy. I thought, well, the secret to happiness is to do what makes you happy. I've since ruled that whole idea out. Happiness is a trick to keep you from actually finding happiness, because when we base our choices on happiness, guess what we get? We get immediate gratification. We get the feeling of joy because we went out and bought that new car. We have that fancy-ass house, or we can post pictures on social media of how fancy our lives are, how great our lives are. But if that really worked like it's supposed to work, then you'd think that if you posted something on social media and people told you how amazing you were, that feeling would carry with you all day. You wouldn't have to look at social media again. You'd be so busy involved in your amazing, happy, great life that you'd just be like, I don't want to get on social media. It's not nearly as fun as what I'm doing, right? See, the reason most people aren't able to take action is because the only thing they think about is what they can't do. There's all kinds of options out there no matter where you are. And that's right, maybe you can't. Maybe you can't be an attorney because you're a felon. That doesn't mean you have to fail. You're not a failure. It doesn't mean you can't become a project manager. It doesn't mean you can't go back to school and do any number of things. It doesn't mean you can't learn something new. Maybe you can't. Maybe you can't muster the energy up to wake up today, to wake up tomorrow and say, hey, I think I want to change something about my life, and then do some research on it to change it. I made my point. You'll only become what you believe you can become. You'll only have the future that you can see for yourself. You will never exceed your own expectations. Did I tell you? I want this podcast to be the number one podcast in the universe. I want this to be the one podcast that actually makes it to Mars first. Hey, you know, of all the guys we should send to Mars to help the Martians out, maybe we should send Chris Hawkes. Oh yeah, your best life defined. Yeah, he's changed the world. I talk about those stories, right? I talk about building stories around what it is I'm doing every day. That's a prime example right there. It's okay to laugh at yourself about your failures. It's okay. I'm perfectly fine with the idea that there's someone yucking it up at my expense right now because I think I'm doing a great job and they think I suck. Out of that, in that scenario, whose opinion really matters anyway? Well, sorry, but my opinion matters. I'm a rock star, baby. That's it. I'm rocking this thing, right? If you can't, it's because you won't. If you can't, it's because you're not, there's no place that you've chosen that makes you want to. If you can't have a better relationship, it's because you've given up on any of those things that you used to do that used to make that relationship so good. It's easy for me. If I want to make my wife happy, I tell her, I just sit down and I'll do the dishes. Most of the time, I don't even have that conversation. There's no conversation about whether I'm going to cook supper. Hell yeah, I'm going to cook supper. That's my job. That's how this team thing works. I like to cook. Don't like to clean, but I'll clean too. But maybe you can't. Maybe you just can't find it in yourself to get up off the couch and say, hey, listen, sit down, baby. You had a hard day. I'm going to go ahead and take care of the dishes. Or maybe you can't go down to the college and talk to an advisor about maybe going to school, picking up some classes. Maybe you can't talk to your supervisor about a mentorship program where you can learn the ins and outs of the business that you're engaged in. This isn't about you liking or not liking what you have in front of you. This isn't about you loving your job. It's about taking advantage of what you have in front of you. It's about taking advantage of the opportunities that are there by creating opportunities that you can take advantage of. Tell me, I don't know a boss in the world who would hesitate to not help if they had an employee come up and say, "Hey, listen, I really want to be a better employee. How can I do that? What would you like to see in me for me to be a better employee?" I don't know. I was one of those guys when someone would do that, like, suck ass. Well, if you told me that now, I don't care what you think. Doesn't matter what you think. The only thing that matters is what I think, right? I don't know, maybe you can't. Maybe you can't find it within yourself to say, you know what? I'm going to be a better person for my partner, so I'm going to start working out because I want to be a better grandpa. I want to do something for my grandchildren. I want to be able to stay in shape so I can be around for them. So I'm going to stay moving. So when they grow up and they want to go for a hike, I can go for a hike with them. Maybe you can't. But here's the ticket. I think you can. I think that you have everything in you. You already have all the tools necessary to live your best life, to wake up and to face certain things in your life that inspire you, that scare the hell out of you, that make you want to quit, but you do it anyway, right? And that's the ticket right there. That's where it starts. And that's the story of living your best life. Do you have things in your life that actually make you want to get up off the couch? Even when you don't want to, even when you're tired, you have things in your life that you're working towards that are taking some aspect of your life in a new direction, in a better direction, to where someday you can look back and you can go, hell yeah, look what we did. Look what I did. I don't know, guys, that's what living your best life is all about. If you can't do it, let me explain to you why. This is my theory. I mean, I spent a lot of time thinking about this. If you're not moving forward in a direction, it's simply because you haven't picked the right thing to move for. Your thinking is inside your box. You're thinking within the box of your life, and there's nothing within your life currently that's going to cause you to get up and say, okay, I'm going to struggle for it. I'm going to fight for it. And how do you change that? You got to get outside your box. You have to get outside your box. You have to push a wall down on your life, either by learning something or exposing yourself to something or just stepping into something you've never done before and do it. Here's an example. So Sandy and I, when our kids were about out of school, my youngest was, I think she was a sophomore. We weren't very connected because I'd been working 2 jobs. My wife was busy with kids, and now we're just in the house alone. Our daughter's grown. She drives. She's got a job. So there we are. We talked about hiking. We did some hikes. We talked about backcountry hiking. The next thing you know, guess what? we're heading out on our first big adventure, right? The packs are too heavy. We have way more crap than we need. We're both scared to death. We have brand new gear on, brand new shoes. Our feet are killing us. We're not sure. The packs aren't fitting quite right. And guess what? All the way up there, all I kept thinking is, we can't do this. We can't do this. 2 years, 2.5 years later, out crawling around in the mountains, sleeping in a tent, scared to death of bears. I don't know why. And the reason we were able to do it was because for all the fear, all the scary aspects of all the things we didn't know about it, the one thing we did know is that it was a challenge we had never experienced, and it seemed like it was going to be amazing. And when you build on that energy, you build on that idea, you build on that success of the image of where you're going with it, gives you a reason to get up, right? Gives you a reason to go, okay, I'm excited, I'm scared, let's do this, woo! And what's funny about it is we spent all that time hiking and camping out in the mountains. And you want to know the best part of all of those experiences, the best moment of all those experiences? Getting back to the house, taking those hiking boots off, and opening a cold beer. Because you know how it's going to go. You know it's not going to be a walk in the park. You know there are going to be issues. One time we got caught in a thunderstorm, thought we were going to die. Stop thinking about why you can't and do something. Stop thinking about why you haven't taken those steps towards anything in your life that you need to make better. That's the cool part about it. This isn't your clay, and this is not don't be like me, be like you. Be as much like you as you can be. Look inside yourself and say, why in the hell am I doing that? And if you can't find a good enough reason to continue doing certain things, then stop doing it. Find a way to escape it. And I don't care what it is, because you only get one chance. And just like me, you're running out of time. So, hey, keep that in mind. Don't forget about the kindness. Spend as much time as you can learning about you. Focus on you, because the rest of this noise in the world is just a distraction. It's going to keep you from achieving your dreams. And I guarantee once you start and once you find the right motivation, you'll be able to grab a hold of it. Let's not forget the kindness. And as always, just remember, today's your day. Make it a good one.